Hello and welcome to the 14th edition of OCPL Presents Shakespeare Unstaged. We're very happy to have the core four here this week, a la Simon Moody, of the same actors we had last week, but they're even better this week because they have another week experience, right? Okay, so let me start with my announcement. And my first announcement is Much Ado About Nothing, which runs this weekend, Friday and Saturday at 5:30 and Sunday at 2 at the Thorndon Park Amphitheater, is SOLDOUT. That spells sold out, folks. That means you cannot buy a ticket online, but you can come to the show if you show up 1 hour before showtime. We open the gates 1 hour, and you're in the first 50 people online, boom, you're in. So that's the only way to get to see the show, where you have to wear a mask, socially distance, and all that stuff. We take your temperature, all these good things. So let me show you what part of what led to our selling out. Part of it, not all of it. And this is from the Post Standard on Tuesday. It was based on a photo essay that Scott Schill did on Saturday, which had 18 pictures in it. And I would have preferred it said comedy at a distance, because it is a comedy. It is not a drama. But there are dramatic moments to it. So I guess you could say that. And we were very grateful to have that. First time in more than 10 years that we have had the cover of any section of the Post Standard. So we're really happy to have that. And we're happy to sell out 6 times. And we're happy to have you come down and be a walk-in, because you can still see the show. It's a great time. The weather's going to be fabulous no matter what. So come on down. Next for us, after Much Ado About Nothing, is supposed to be Scrooge Meets Shakespeare's Ghosts in December at SU at the Warehouse, and also at Beer Belly Deli in interactive theater, which will be very interesting during times of COVID, how interactive we can get. But you never know what we're going to do. So we will try to do that. We have to get permission from SU. We have to get rehearsal space. Lots of things have to fall into place, but those are our plans. And the following show in April is, again, we're trying to put on I Hate Hamlet. We started it this year in March. We got in 1 rehearsal, 1 photo shoot, and then boom, everything got shut down for COVID. So we're going to try again this year. And we have most of the cast still in place. I think it's 6 characters. And Dan Stevens is directing. And I think it's going to be a really cool show. So I don't have much more time, so I'm going to leave it off there and say to you, come see Much Ado About Nothing 1 hour before showtime. You can get in. Now I'm going to throw it over to Cara, because that's my 3 minutes. And the Onondaga County Public Library, she has great news for you. Woohoo! Go.
Thank you, Ronnie. Today I'm going to talk about a really awesome community resource that I think maybe not as many people know about as could know about it. So I'm going to give a shout out to the Literacy Coalition of Onondaga County. They're celebrating 10 years of Dolly Parton's Imagination Library in the county. Since 2010, they've distributed almost 900,000 books to young children in our community. So if you're not familiar with the Imagination Library, it's a program that Dolly Parton started to honor her father. She says he's one of the smartest people she's ever known, but he never learned how to read. So her Imagination Library aims to help children learn how to read by providing them with a book every month until they turn 5. And the best part about it is it's all free. So the way it works is every child from age birth to under age 5 with a parent or guardian who lives in Onondaga County is eligible for the program. Every month, a book will get mailed to your home at no cost, and this will continue until your child turns 5. The books that they send are tailored to your child's age, and as your child grows up, the books that they send are going to introduce new themes and concepts and gradually more complex stories. So even if your child is a newborn, it's still really important to read aloud with them every day. This is going to help them develop literacy skills faster, and it's also going to boost their brain development. Plus, it's just a really fun activity to do together, and it'll help you bond. So if you're interested in signing your child up, I'm going to show you how you can do that. So I'm going to share my screen. So you can go online. You can go to onliteracy.org. You see that at the top, onliteracy.org. And then near the top right, click on Enroll Your Child Today. And then you'll see About Imagination Library, and you can kind of scroll down a little bit, click on Enroll Your Child Today, click here. And then you'll end up clicking on this Register Your Child to receive free books, and you'll just complete a survey. It's just some demographic info. It's like your address, just so that they know where to send the books to, how old your child is, some pretty basic info. And then if you would rather call instead of go online, you'll see this phone number at the bottom. So you can contact the program director, Kim Kemp. That's 315-214-2878, 315-214-2878, and they can help answer all your questions and give you a little bit more info. So that's just a great community resource, and it's free. It's very easy to sign up, so I really recommend you check it out. So that's my update.
Well, thank you, Karen. I want to second that. We said this yesterday during our rehearsal. We do have one rehearsal, and as a former elementary school teacher, 24 years experience in New York City and in Syracuse, I can tell you that students who are read to between birth and 5 years old, before they get to school, regular elementary school, are way, way ahead of students who have not been read to. Their brains are more developed, they're more imaginative, they're more interesting, they're more interested in things, they're never bored. And so it's really important to do this. So it's a great thing to do. Don't skip doing it. It's free. It comes once a month. You can't lose, okay? So thank you, Cara, for that. And let's move on to our dramatic pieces. We're starting with Ann Childress. She's doing the prologue from Trolius and Cressida. So that's Act 1, Scene 0. And it's Due As Your Pleasures Are. Take it away, Ann.
In Troy there lies the scene. From isles of Greece the princes Ordulus, their high blood chafed, have to the port of Athens sent their ships, fraught with the ministers and instruments of cruel war. 69 that wore their crownets regal, from the Athenian bay put forth toward Phrygia, and their vow is made to ransack Troy, within whose strong immures the ravished Helen, Menelaus' queen, with wanton Paris sleeps, and that's the quarrel. To Tenedaeus they come, and the deep drawing barks do there disgorge their warlike fraughtage. Now on Dardan plains, the fresh and yet unbruised Greeks do pitch their brave pavilions. Priam's six-gated city, Dardan, Timbria, Helios, Chetus, Troyan, and Antinorides, with massy staples and corresponsive and fulfilling bolts, spur up the sons of Troy. Now expectation, tickling skittish spirits, on one and other side, Trojan and Greek, sets all on hazard. And hither am I come, a prologue armed, but not in confidence of author's pen or actor's voice, but suited in like conditions as our argument, to tell you, fair beholders, that our play leaps over the vaunt and firstlings of those broils, beginning in the middle, starting thence away to what may be digested in a play. Like or find fault, do as your pleasures are. Now, good or bad, 'tis but the chance of war.
Woohoo! Thank you, Ann. Way to kick off the show. Now we're moving on to another dramatic piece. Simon Moody is starring in this one as Shylock. I'm supporting him as Salarino, who is the friend of Antonio. It's from The Merchant of Venice, Act 3, Scene 1, and I'm calling it My Daughter Is My Flesh and Blood. Take it away, Shylock.
I say, my daughter is my flesh and blood.
There is more difference between thy flesh and hers than between jet and ivory, more between your bloods than there is between red wine and Rhenish. But tell us, do you hear whether Antonio have had any loss at sea or no?
Now, there I have another bad match. A bankrupt, a prodigal, who dares scarce show his head on the Rialto. A beggar that was used to come so smug upon the mart. Let him look to his bond. He was wont to call me usurer. Let him look to his bond. He was wont to call me for a Christian courtesy. Let him look to his bond.
Why, I am sure if he forfeit, thou wilt not take his flesh. What's that good for?
To bait fish withal. If it will feed nothing else, it will feed my revenge. He hath disgraced me and hindered me 500,000, laughed at my losses, mocked at my gains, scorned my nation, thwarted my bargains, cooled my friends, heated mine enemies. And what's his reason? I am a Jew. Hath not a Jew eyes? Hath not a Jew hands, organs, dimensions, senses, affections, passions? Fed with the same food, hurt with the same weapons, subject to the same diseases, healed by the same means, warmed and cooled by the same winter and summer as a Christian is? If you prick us, do we not bleed? If you tickle us, do we not laugh? If you poison us, do we not die? And if you wrong us, shall we not revenge? If we are like you in the rest, we will resemble you in that. If a Jew wrong a Christian, what's his humility? Revenge. If a Christian wrong a Jew, what should his sufferance be by Christian example? Why, revenge. The villainy you teach me, I will execute, and it shall go hard, but I will better the instruction.
Woohoo!
Oh,
Way to go, Shylock! Good job, Simon, as usual. And now we're moving on to a Hamlet scene starring Tony Brown. I am playing, who am I playing? Laertes. And Anne is playing Ophelia. So Tony is playing Polonius. This is Act 1, Scene 3 of Hamlet. Give every man thine ear. My necessaries are embarked. Farewell. And sister, as the winds give benefit and convoy is assistant, do not sleep, but let me hear from you.
Do you doubt that?
For Hamlet and the trifling of his favor, hold it a fashion and a toy in blood, a violet in the youth of primy nature, forward, not permanent, sweet, not lasting, the perfume and suppliance of a minute, no more.
No more, but so?
Think it no more. For nature crescent does not grow alone in thews and bulk, but as this temple waxes, the inward service of the mind and soul grows wide withal. Perhaps he loves you now, and now no soil nor caudle doth besmirch the virtue of his will, but you must fear his greatness weighed, his will is not his own. For he himself is subject to his birth, he may not, as unvalued persons do, carve for himself, for on his choice depends the safety and health of this whole state. And therefore must his choice be circumscribed unto the voice and yielding of that body whereof he is the head. Then, if he says he loves you, if it's your wisdom so far to believe it, as he is in his particular act and place may give his saying deed, which is no further than the man voice of Denmark goes withal. Then weigh what loss your honor may sustain, if with too credent ear you list his songs, or lose your heart, or your chaste treasure open to his unmastered importunity. Fear it, Ophelia, fear it, my dear sister, and keep you in the rear of your affection, out of the shot and danger of desire. The chariest maid is prodigal enough if she unmask her beauty to the moon. Virtue itself scopes not calumnious strokes. The canker galls the infants of the spring too oft before their buttons be disclosed. And in the morn and liquid dew of youth, contagious blastments are most imminent. Be wary then. Best safety lies in fear. Youth to itself rebels, though none else near.
I shall the effect of this good lesson keep, as watchman to my heart. But good my brother, do not, as some ungracious pastors do, show me the steep and thorny way to heaven, whiles, like a puffed and reckless libertine, himself the primrose path of dalliance treads, and recks not his own reed.
Oh, fear me not. I stay too long, but here my father comes. A double blessing is a double grace. Occasion smiles upon a second leave.
Yet here, Laertes. Aboard, aboard for shame. The wind sits in the shoulders of your sail, and you are stayed for. There my blessings with thee. In these few precepts in thy memory look thou character. Give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportioned thought his act. Be thou familiar, but be no means vulgar. Those friends thou hast, in their adoptions try, grapple them upon thy soul with hoops of steel. But do not dull thy palm with entertainments of each new hatched, unfledging comrade. Beware of entrance to a quarrel, but being in, beareth that the opposed may beware of thee. Give every man thy ear, but few thy voice. Take each man's senses, but reserve thy judgment. Costly thy habits, as thy purse can buy, but not expressed in fancy, rich nor gaudy. For the apparel oft proclaims the man, and they in France of the best rank and station are most select and gracious and generous. Chief in that, neither a bower or a lender be. For loan thy losses, both itself and friends, and borrow thou the edge of husbandry. This about all, to thyself be true. And it may follow as the night the day. Thou canst not then be false to any man. Farewell, my blessing season this in thee.
Most humbly do I take my leave, my lord.
The time invites you. Go, your servants tend.
Farewell, Ophelia, and remember well what I have said to you.
'Tis in my memory locked, and you yourself shall keep the key of it.
Farewell.
What is Ophelia he hath said to you?
So please you, something touching the Lord Hamlet.
Mary, well bethought. 'Tis told me he had very oft of late given private time to you, and you yourself have of your audience been most free and bounteous. If it be so, as so 'tis put on me, in that in way of cautious, I must tell you, you do not understand yourself so clearly as to behooves my daughter and your honor. What is between you? Give me up the truth.
He hath, my lord, of late made many tenders of his affection to me.
Affection? Pooh. You speak like a green girl, unsifted in such perilous circumstance. Do you believe his tenders as you claim them?
I do not know, my lord, what I should think.
Mary, I will teach you. Think yourself a baby that you have taken these tenders for true pay, which are not sterling. Tender yourself more dearly, or not to crack the wind of the poor phase running it thus, you'll tender me a fool.
My lord, he hath importuned me with love in an honorable fashion.
Aye, fashion you may call it. Oh, go to.
And hath given countenance to his speech, my lord, with almost all the holy vows of heaven.
Aye, things to catch woodcock. I do know when the blood burns, how prodigal the soul lends the tongue vows. These blazes, daughter, are giving more light than heat, extinct in both, even in their promise. As it is a making, you must not take for fire. From this time, be something scanter of your maiden presence. Set your own treatment at a higher rate than a command of parley. For Lord Hamlet believes so much in him that he is young, and with a larger tether may he walk, then not be giving you inferior. Do not believe his vow, for they are brokers, nor of the die which their investments show, but mere implorators of holy suits, breathing like sacrifices and imperious bards, the better to beguile. This is for all. I would not, in plain terms, from this time forth, have you so slandered any moment leisure to ask to give words or talk with the Lord Hamlet. Look to it. I charge you. Come your way.
I shall obey, my lord.
Woo-hoo! Nice job. And we're moving on to another Hamlet scene. We're doing Act 2, Scene 2. Simon Moody is playing Hamlet, and Childress is playing Rosencrantz. Is that right? Do I have that right? And Tony Brown is playing Guildenstern. This
The
is
only chance I'll ever have.
I'm sorry?
The only chance I'll ever have.
Well, me too. I'll never play Laertes again. So Act 2, Scene 2, a dream itself is but a shadow. Take it away, Guildenstern.
My honored lord.
My most dear lord.
Most excellent good friends. How dost thou, Guildenstern? Rosencrantz. Good lads, how do ye both?
As the indifferent children of the earth.
Oh, happy in that we are not over happy of fortune's capped. We are not the very bottom.
Nor the soles of her shoe.
Neither, my lord.
Then you live about her waist, or in the middle of her favors.
Oh, faith, her privates, we...
Oh, in the secret parts of fortune. Oh, most true. She is a strumpet. What news?
None, my lord, but that the world's grown honest.
Then is doomsday near. But your news is not true. Let me question you more in particular. What have you, good friends, deserved at the hands of fortune that she sends you to prison hither?
Prison, my lord?
Well, Denmark's a prison.
Then is the world one.
A goodly one, in which there are many confines, wards, and dungeons. Denmark being one of the worst.
We think not so, my lord.
Why, then 'tis none to you, for there is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. To me, it is a prison.
Why then your ambition makes it one. 'Tis too narrow for your mind.
Oh, God, I could be bounded in a nutshell and count myself a king of infinite space, were it not that I have bad dreams.
Which dreams indeed are ambitious, for the very substance of the ambitious is merely the shadow of a dream.
A dream itself is but a shadow.
Truly, and I hold ambition of so airy and light a quality that it is but a shadow's shadow.
Then are our beggars' bodies and our monarchs and outstretched heroes the beggars' shadows? Shall we to the court? By my fay, I cannot reason.
We'll wait upon you.
No such matter. I will not sort you with the rest of my servants. For to speak to you like an honest man, I am most dreadfully attended. But in the beaten way of friendship, what make you at Elsinore?
To visit you, my lord, no other occasion.
Beggar that I am, I even pour in thanks, but I thank you. And sure, dear friends, my thanks are too dear a halfpenny. Were you sent for? Is it your own inclining? Is it a free visitation? Come, deal justly with me. Come. Nay, I speak.
What shall we say, my lord?
By anything, but to the purpose. You were sent for, and there is a kind of confession in your looks which your modesties have not craft enough to color. I know the good king and queen have sent for you.
To what end, my lord?
That you must teach me. But let me conjure you by the rights of our fellowship, by the conspiracy of our youth, by the obligation of our ever-preserved love, and by what more dear a better proposer could charge you withal. Be even and direct with me, whether you are sent for or no.
What say you?
Nay then, I have an eye of you. If you love me, hold not off.
My lord, we were sent for.
I will tell you why. So shall my anticipation prevent your discovery and your secrecy to the king and queen. Moult no feather. I have of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth, forgone all custom of exercises, and indeed it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory. This most excellent canopy, the air, look you. This brave o'erhanging firmament, this majestical roof fretted with golden fire. Why? It appeareth no other thing to me than a foul and pestilent congregation of vapors. What a piece of work is man. How noble in reason, how infinite in faculties, in form and moving, how express and admirable. In action, how like an angel. In apprehension, how like a god did. The beauty of the world, the paragon of animals. And yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights not me, no. Nor woman neither, though by your smiling you seem to say so.
My lord, there was no such stuff in my thoughts.
Why did you laugh then, when I said man delights not me?
To think, my lord, if you delight not in men, what Lenten entertainment the players shall receive from you. We coded them on the way, and hither are they coming to offer you service.
He that play the king shall be welcome. His majesty shall have tribute of me. The adventurous knight shall use his foil and target. The lover shall not sigh gratis. The humorous man shall not end his part in peace. The clown shall make those laugh whose lungs are tickle of the hair, and the lady shall say her mind freely, or the blank verse shall hope for it. What players are they?
Even those you were wont to take such delight in. the tragedians of the city.
How chances if they travel? Their residence, both in reputation and profit, was better both ways.
I think their inhibition comes by the means of the late innovation.
Do they hold the same estimation they did when I was in the city? Are they so followed?
No, indeed are they not.
How comes it? Do they grow rusty?
Nay, their endeavor keeps in the wonted pace, but there is, sir, an eyrie of children, little Iases, that cry out on the top of question and are most tyrannical clapped for. These are now the fashion, and so berattle the common stages, so they call them, that many wearing rapiers are afraid of goose quills and dare scarce come thither.
What? Are they children? Who maintains them? How are they escorted? Will they pursue the quality no longer than they can sing? Will they not say afterwards, if they should grow themselves to common players, as it is most like if their means are no better, their writers do them wrong to make them exclaim against their own succession?
Faith, there has been much to do on both sides, and the nation holds it no sin to tar them to controversy. There was, for a while, no money bid for argument unless the poet and the player went to cuffs in the question.
Is it possible?
Oh, there has been much throwing about the brains.
But do the boys carry it away?
Aye, they do, my lord. Hercules and his load too.
It is not very strange. For my uncle is king of Denmark, and those that would make mouths at him while my father lived give 20, 40, 50, 100 ducats apiece for his picture in little. Splud. There is something in this more than natural. Philosophy could find it out.
Oh, there are the players.
Gotta unmute myself, that'll help. And I got the snaps in. Our last piece, our last dramatic piece is going to be Tony Brown, all on his own. Spotlight on Tony Brown. Sonnet number 14, and we're calling it Not From the Stars. Take it away, Tony Brown.
Not from the stars do I my judgment pluck, and yet methinks I have astronomy, but not to tell one of good or evil luck, of plagues, of death, of seasons' quality, nor can I fortune to brief minute tells, pointing to each his thunder, rain, and winds, or say with princes if it shall go well. But I oft predict that I in heaven finds, but from thine eyes my knowledge I derive, and constant stars in them I read such art, as truth and beauty shall together thrive. If from myself I store thou wouldst convert, or else of these, this I prognosticate. Thy end is truth and beauty, dooms and date.
Woohoo! And there we go. Show number 14 is in the books. So remember to come back next week. I am sure that the core 4 will be here next week, and maybe we'll have a player or two other if we let them in. We've been knocking it out of the park for 2 weeks, so why not keep it up, right? We have 2 more weeks left. Next week is the 20th, and then the 27th will be our final show. I guess we'll have to have a little party. We'll have cake.
Yeah, party.
Who knows? So thank you for watching today, and tune in next week, same time, 2 p.m. on Thursday, the 20th. Bye-bye, everybody. Wave bye-bye.
Bye-bye.